Well, I don't know. After the selection of the four finalists was done, I believe, again, the committee did a wonderful job, and I trust that they acted in good faith, coming with the four finalists, and I really commend them for the job well done. And but personally, I know that I was approached by the interim city manager maybe 2 or 3 days after our last meeting, because that's when we gave direction to him to to forward all the resumes, the portfolios of the four finalists, and thereafter the scheduling would be done for us to decide to interview them. And when he approached me, I declined. I said I don't want to interview anyone because I trusted the judgment of the committee whom we appointed. So I have the portfolios of all the four finalists, which I went over 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And when I looked at them, well, the one thing that came to mind, I think I can say it on the dais. Well, maybe I shouldn't. Let me just hold it for myself for now. But what I want to really say is that I was given the opportunity to interview the four finalists. I simply declined them. I don't know whether you were given the same opportunity or not.
Begged for the opportunity, and after I mean, anybody can rewind the last meeting that we had.
Yeah.
I've asked so many times over that 2-week period, and all I finally got Friday night was an email with the 4 finalists' phone numbers. That is a far cry from anything we've done with 9 city managers or 7 city attorneys, and don't let me even get into the number of police chiefs we've had here. So
Can I say something?
Well,
Just a precision about, I had the opportunity to interview the 4 applicants.
Oh,
That's
okay,
not the
somebody
question.
did.
That's not the question that I'm talking about. I'm talking about sit down with the committee before they even choose the applicants. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about after we choose the 4
Is
applicants.
that a sunshine violation?
No.
Me and no, not all 4
Not the
council
4.
members. That means me sitting with the committee.
Code of silence.
I thought, no, I thought, no, but we did have that,
Opportunity.
that opportunity, yes.
No.
no.
When they were interviewing the applicant, isn't that so, Mr. Chairman? You were interviewing the applicants right back there in this chamber. Didn't we have the option of going and sit
Yeah,
in
to
these
sit down.
interviews? No.
Open to the public.
Yeah, open to
I
the
did not
public.
know.
Mr. Mayor, I have to say, again, this isn't my first time doing this. Every single other time that there's been a Final 3, Final 4, or Final 5, whether it's for the city manager or the city attorney, it has always involved, even after the committee has done their narrowing, it has involved us meeting with and talking with the individuals on our own, not as a group, but one-on-one with each one of them. It's a round-robin series of interviews, whether it's here or whether it's this is documented. It's our opportunity to ask questions and our opportunity to even meet the candidates. Right now, I know who Steve Zelkowitz is. Other than that, I don't know the other people that made the Final 4. And I can look at a resume, and that's one thing, but I need to meet somebody and talk to them. I want to ask them what they're going to do when the cards are down, when we're asking the hard questions. I want to look somebody in the eye. I want to interview them. We didn't get that chance.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do want to say thank you to the committee. I thought not only you guys did a phenomenal job with what we gave, and tonight, if we were to go ahead and appoint from the list, I would have absolutely no problem, and I'm gonna say why. First, when the process started, they asked us to appoint someone that we felt that could illustrate or that could at least the same type of thinking regarding to what Councilman Bien-Aimé was saying, someone that could really go and talk and represent us on the committee. That I place a name into nomination, someone that I knew that is a very esteemed attorney with high, very high class within the attorney rank. So I had absolutely no problem. I did have some concern because I did not like, and I do not like firms, as opposed to Councilwoman Keys. I did not like that they did not have enough individuals. I would have liked to see more individuals moving forward, because I do think we do get served better if we do have a in-house attorney versus as a firm. And I have had previous meetings with that. I, on several occasions after the meeting when Councilman Galvin did request to meet with the folks, I said publicly I did not feel that I needed to meet with these candidates, because I felt that my representative on the board did such a whatever job. They are the attorney. I mean, I need someone who knows legal, who could really represent us well and represent us in doing what we can. Now, a city manager is totally different. I don't know what happened, Councilman Galvin, and I do think we need to look at that if staff did not reach out to you, because they did reach out to me, and I said to them I did not want to meet with anyone. I was okay with however the firm was going. So by saying that, I do feel that we are too much blaming, although we keep on clarifying, no, they did a wonderful job, the committee, but at the same time, I felt that they did what we wanted them to do. Now, if we're not happy with the procedure, we could scrap everything and start over however we want to do it. But yes, I am ready to, if we were moving to that direction. Yes.
Let me ask Mr. Roglieri, right? Roglieri,
Yes, sir.
That's the way you say it. Did you work in concert with either the chairman or the committee at all during the whole process?
I was a staff assistant to the chairman. So I was the staff representative along with the former purchasing manager, because we have two processes going on. We have employees and we have firms. So as far as the employee process goes, as a personnel director, I coordinated that part of it. The purchasing was part of the purchasing manager's responsibility. So both of us attended all of the meetings.
So the option to not rank the finalists was not a point of discussion at any point of time?
I must say that the firm, the committee, the chair and the committee, they had a very difficult job to do. And they had discussions, arguments, contentious discussions, the ranking versus not ranking. All of it was a very trying process, but they came up with a consensus on these four. And I think they got the best candidate, and I think they got three good firms. And as far as the rest, let's look forward. Whatever was done, we've got these four, let's go forward. Whatever you want to go forward now, we can go forward in any direction you'd like to go. We can go forward and do individual interviews. We can go forward and bring the firms and the candidate to a council for interviews. We can drop the process and start all over again. This is an advisory board. You are not abdicating your responsibilities. You, as a council, are responsible for appointing a city attorney.
Yeah, but we rely on you as well. We rely on the good intention as to the executing the process.
We're in a good place right now. I think we have good options. We have three firms, we have a good candidate, and we can go forward in a different direction.
I'm just, Mr. Mayor, I'm just dumbfounded. You mean to tell me that you think, you're advising me that we're in a good place if I'm to pick a city attorney, never having met them?
No, I'm saying we're gonna go forward and meet them. Let's schedule interviews with the council and the applicants.
But I asked for that 2 weeks ago.
You asked for something to do an individual meeting. Others
And I
did not
didn't
want
get it.
to.
Okay,
What I would say, I've done this different ways. I've never seen individual meetings before, sir. I'm sorry, Dick, let me just finish. I know you want to take, he doesn't want me to speak, he wants to handle it. Whenever I've done these processes in the past, it's always been an interview by the council. That we would call
We've
the
done it that way.
candidates up.
That's right, we've done it that way
Because
before.
their
too.
job is to present to the council. And we can do that. We can schedule them. Let's go forward and schedule them.
And Mr. Ruglieri is right, we have done it in the past where we called them in, where they waited we turned off the microphones in the lobby, we called them in half-hour shifts, and the council interviewed them that way. That has been done too. Like I said, I think I've seen just about every mix of interviewing candidates for the manager or the attorney's job that there can possibly be. But it always involved some sort of discourse with the candidate before a vote was taken. I don't even know if our four or five finalists are in the room tonight at all. So,
Can I ask you a question?
But you know what?
Councilman Galvin? Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, from last meeting, you wasn't asked?
I repeatedly asked
I
after the
remember.
last meeting, when can I please have my meetings? I was told, well, Scott, you're the only one. And I said, okay, then let me
Okay.
be the only one. But the only response I ever finally got was Friday night. I can pull up the email right now and tell you, it was an email with an attachment of the 4 phone numbers of the 4 finalists, as if I'm just supposed to now pick up the phone on Saturday and Sunday and call and say, hi, Scott, I hope you're not at the beach right now. You want to talk about the city attorney's job? That was all I got.
You could do it on Skype.
And I'll be honest, I even offered, because one of the finalists is in Tampa, and I said to Duke, Skype her. That's a good enough interview. I got nothing.
Dude, let's Skype them. We can
But,
do this. Okay, so where do we go from here?
I'd like,
Because
Okay.
Can we move?
I have another
Continue.
question. Is our obligation to limit ourselves, our meetings with just the 4 applicants?
Why don't we vote on, well,
Because we're talking.
let me tell you
that We're
when,
talking one individual, and I mean, I read everybody's resumes, and I've read the interviews, the verbatim interviews, because I couldn't listen to the CD. Good on paper. I need to look into somebody's eye. I need to see if these are the people I'm going to trust, that they're going to represent me sitting up there, that they have the quick wit, that they can answer on the fly and not, we're in the middle of a meeting. We can't rely on someone to say, oh, well, I'll have to look it up. We need somebody like that.
Can we, Vice Mayor?
But I'm gonna bring it out, and we had 4 firms. I've read the verbatim minutes, and I just want to bring it out that I do not know why one of the firms, Greenspoon Mortar, was
Oh,
taken
let's
out
ask.
of the mix. I read the resumes. I saw nothing in there that would eliminate this firm. They had probably
Um,
not
I-
they had one of the
Let it
highest
go, let it.
municipal experiences, a complete line of attorney, a reputation. I saw no reason why one firm was just dragged down when other firms had other issues and did not have as much municipal experience. So I'm going to be looking at that.
No, but can we ask the committee, because I think they took everything into consideration, and I also reviewed the resume just like you did, and I did saw something from that firm that the others did not have. So I would like to at least give the committee an opportunity, because I think they also took in the price into consideration as well.
I think all the prices really are going
Well-
to be identical, and I think they're all going to be negotiable.
Can
'Cause
we,
again, that
Joe?
needs to go within the budget. I
Mr.
think
Joe-
I think they're all going to be within our price range and our budget.
No, I'm saying.
Even though there were
what-
different prices all over the place.
Well,
can I
that's
make,
what I'm saying.
can I make one point? I think sometimes we can complicate things that don't need to be complicated. I sit on the MPO board, and about maybe 6 months ago, there was a process that was put in place to choose an executive director for the MPO. The process was they appointed a committee, and this is the Miami-Dade County.
I watch you.
This is my Miami-Dade County, and they appointed a committee. The committee interviewed the applicants, and the process, part of the process was for the committee to choose a few finalists, and that was done. And then the finalists were interviewed by the chairman, and at those interviews, all of the members had the opportunity to attend the interviews with the finalists. And, but, as you know, there are 13 members on the Miami-Dade County Board, itself, and then plus we have additional members from other municipalities for the MPO. So some of the members, they chose not to interview, they chose not to sit in the interview with the chairman, and they came up with, they read, the minutes, and they listened to the tapes, and they went by the portfolios that were before them, and decisions were done. So,
They vote down the
Eh,
recommendation of the committee.
well, but they voted someone anyway.
After that.
No,
they
no,
vote
no, they
someone.
voted on the recommendation of the chairman, but not of the committee.
Yeah, but you need to remember, Mr. Mayor, the same recommendation of the chairman was the recommendation of the committee also. Yeah, it's the same person. They
No, they
voted
were-
down, and then they choose someone else.
Well, there were two finalists. There
I
were two
was-
finalists, yeah. So anyway, whichever way you want to go tonight, it's,
Can we-
I'm willing to go either way.
Well,
and but my take is that we cannot continue as a municipality, as a responsible municipality, as a city on the move, to continue with interim city attorney and interim city manager, and we just have to go through this hurdle and leave this past, flip this page and leave it behind, and let's continue on. We have so many things to do. We have a city to develop. We have building to build. We have restaurants. We have investors to attract. People don't like to come to a city where they keep seeing interim this, and interim that. We need a city attorney, and we need to choose him or her as soon as possible.
If we have an interview process, can we do the same interview process that the committee did? Could we replicate the committee process we did on September 24th, I think was the date, where it's the council asking questions, and we have the 4 firms and the 5 individuals?
It's
And,
not 4 firms, it's 3 firms.
Well,
Why
there
don't we
were-
vote on the
the se-
recommendation?
The
Okay.
semifinalists, there were 4 firms
Well,
and
there was
about 5
10 people,
individuals.
so we should bring back all 10 in the
That's
firm
what
to
I'm
be
saying,
fair.
that's my question,
Oh, okay. That I
to
don't
go
have a
back
problem
to
with.
at least the semifinalist and start from there.
Can I make a suggestion, Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead.
That we allow council, whoever wants to interview, and then we may perhaps early next week call a special meeting and then just wrap it up.
You
Because
don't need a
Mr.
special
Mayor,
meeting.
Mr.
We'll just
Mayor,
do it
I don't-
at the next meeting.
Mr.
no, that's what
Mayor,
I'm saying.
you can-
If we
Give him
wanted to
the
do it
2 weeks,
before, no,
give
because
him-
you said, okay, that's fine.
Mr. and Mayor and Councilman Alex, we have been working on this for months, and we need, okay, we're gonna vote on the recommendation. Why don't we
No,
just
but
vote on?
he's saying he's not ready because he needs to interview the folks. And council, Vice Mayor.
Like me personally, I'm gonna give
you're
you,
not
I'm gonna
interviewing.
tell you what I think. We have 4 firms, and that was applied,
Okay.
and they choose 3 and 1 individual. When I'm looking at the portfolio of everybody, if I was on the side of choosing a firm, right? Personally, I will make a motion to vote for Greenspoon Motor. That will be my recommendation. That's the firm that I feel like are well qualified.
Are you making a
Not
motion?
No,
yet,
he's
not
making
yet,
a
not
motion.
yet.
But you say if you were to make a motion,
said-
No,
if you
if,
were on the
wait, Mr. Mayor.
or if you were in the
Greenspoon, that's
committee.
the one I will choose.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like we need an individual versus a firm. I would prefer someone in-house. If there is anything, then we will go outside and find an outside counsel. I'm more comfortable with that aspect. That's why if anybody make the motion to interview
To
all 4
include all 4?
firms,
You'll be okay.
I don't want to interview all 4 firms. I'm comfortable with one of them. It's Greenspoon Motor, but I want someone in-house, and I'm ready to make a motion
Yeah.
on something.
Well-
Let me hear from everybody before that.
Well, having said that, like I said, I've been lingering over this, and I'm sure everybody else, has. And we've been going at this for a couple of months, and we've been going through meetings and so forth. And I've sat down, and looked at the portfolios, like I said, and I saw companies with a lot of wealth of knowledge, wealth of experiences, with over 100 attorneys with experience, all over the state of Florida. So I'm going to step into the water, and I'm going to make a motion to consider appointing Greenspoon Marder for the position of city attorney in the city of North Miami.
I would second that.
I have a motion made by Mayor Joseph to appoint Greenspoon and Martyr as our new city attorney, and that motion was seconded by Councilwoman.
I'm sorry, I need to make an amendment to my motion with the provision that we will retain, or we will reserve the right to retain our deputy city attorney and our assistant city attorney, and any other city staff in that office. During our negotiation, it would behoove us to decide who stays and goes, not Greenspoon Marder.
Excuse me?
Can I? Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm lost.
The immediate aides.
Discussion?
No, he knows what I mean. No, he's going to repeat the motion.
So I have a motion made by by Mayor Joseph, and the motion is to select Greenspoon and Martyr as the city attorney for the city of North Miami, under the condition that the city attorney office, the city of North Miami would retain its deputy city attorney and the assistant city attorney. Did I get that correct, Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, that was the motion too. So retain the deputy city attorney and the assistant city attorney. And that motion, so let me repeat that all in one sentence. The motion was made by Mayor Joseph, motion to select Greenspoon and Martyr as the city of North Miami city attorneys, under the condition that the city of North Miami retains its deputy city attorney and the assistant city attorney. And that motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys.
That would be negotiated, but 100% dependent upon us, but not upon Greenspoon Marder.
So let me repeat that motion again. The motion to select Greenspoon and Martyr
We have
as the
to
city.
protect the employees.
Motion to select Greenspoon and Martyr as the city of North Miami city attorneys, under the condition that the city of North Miami retains its deputy city attorney and the assistant city attorney. And that motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys.
I would have to second the amended motion. I'd also like to make a friendly amendment to that also, with a proviso that we've gotten several different types of prices from, well, we had one price that was pretty high, and we want to make sure that it is adjusted to reflect, if we keep the people in staff, that it goes down, and that we are not spending more that is allocated in our city budget for the city attorney. So.
Yes, with the sound budget.
Can I say something?
Is it open for discussion? Or
Yes,
did
it
we-
was just
are we
about-
voting?
It's open for discussion.
Yeah.
Like I said before, and I love Greenspoon and to do the job, but I'm gonna vote against it because I will prefer someone in-house versus a firm to do the job. That's what it
Mr.
is.
Mayor?
Go ahead.
Yeah, my question with this, I really don't understand this, the position, because they were not part of the firm that the committee selected. Councilman Galvin asked that they wanted to interview at least an opportunity what the committee gave. So it's puzzling to me how we just went on someone, we have 7 professionals that we appointed to do a job, and yet I don't think we are, I think there's one attorney here, but we're not acting as attorney, to just select based on what the committee chose to go ahead, which we are allowed to do, but I'll definitely be voting against it because I think it's unfair. We should give at least an opportunity to those who followed the process, and I have absolutely nothing against any particular company. I am biased. I do want a particular individual. I don't mind dealing with an individual, but I do think that the process was not followed, and I'm definitely going to vote against it. Thank you.
Mr. Councilman Galvin, Councilman Desulme, I understand you're talking about the process and the committee. There is no process. The charter of the city and give you the privilege to choose a city attorney and a city manager. It's up to you to decide how you want to do it. That's mean it's not up to
No,
anybody.
no,
You
I
can just
understand
pick
that.
whoever you want, and I understand you're
Absolutely.
not an attorney, but you can decide whatever
No, no,
you
no.
want because you have that privilege from the charter of
Absolutely.
the city.
No, I do understand the
But,
charter.
okay.
It's just like when we waste people time and form a
I
committee.
don't think we-
I am aware of that. That's why I say I didn't want a committee form to select a city manager. We could just go ahead and do that ourselves. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
Mr. Attorney,
Um,
is it my understanding that the process, the procedure that we did put in place, it was followed?
To the extent that a committee was formed, yes. To the extent that the committee submitted its nominees, it's
Mhm.
advisory. And as Councilman Bienemy accurately stated, it's up to you to appoint a city attorney.
Yeah.
under
And during the
charter.
process, we clearly said in the RFP or in the RFQ, it was open to single attorney as well as firm, right?
I'm going to have to, I was not part of the
No,
selection
that was in the,
process
no,
or
no,
the
that was in the
That's what it
RFP,
is,
RFP.
yeah.
but I believe that you retain the right to
Yes,
change or modify any way you saw fit.
yeah, it behooves the council to look at the process and at the applicants and review their portfolio, and even if one applicant was not chosen as a finalist, but a member can go to the pile and see that this company was wrongly excluded and decide that that's the one he or she is going to choose. So that's why I decided to nominate or to make a such motion.
I'd like to say something unless Mr. Councilman Galvin wants to speak.
Sure, I'll just say what I think is pretty clear. I won't be supporting any candidate this evening, be it an individual or a company. I must look at the new city attorney. I'm sorry, Mr. City Clerk.
Go ahead, Scott, you can speak.
I
I
just
just want to make sure I have the
Alright.
correct motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to look at my new city attorney and know who they are, see them face to face, and I want the opportunity to interview them one way or the other, Skype, individually, or here in this room, but I can't vote for a firm or an individual if I don't even know who they are.
May I
Go ahead.
next? To answer Councilman DeSolme, this committee did streamline a process. They whittled down from 65, but it is an advisory committee, just like our planning commission is advisory. They all meet, they give their time, they give very good advice, but we don't always take exactly what they said. I feel that I've personally have read the resumes, I've read the discussions, I read their interviews. I did not see a reason why Greenspoon Martyr was eliminated from the batch, and I see no reason why, because I do know the firm. I'm comfortable, I would be comfortable with their lead attorney sitting there advising me, and I feel very strongly that they would be good for the city. They have integrity, and they would make sure they had our backs and would represent us fairly. That being said, if you all are going to vote against this, I'd rather not take the vote this evening and go forward with the process.
It's already,
And I respect your opinion also if you want an
Yes.
individual.
no, well, the thing is, I was gonna make a motion for us to interview, because Councilman Galvin been saying they wanted to interview to include them, although they did not make the process. But I feel like, I didn't know where this is coming from, where they didn't make the process, because I have tons of people who didn't make the process who I would love to see on the list. I'm not calling out names from there, so if we you gave a compelled reason why we should have included them, which I wouldn't have any problem. But now I'm not even gonna do that because I didn't even see this coming. But but that's fine. I'm ready to vote. Thank you.
Okay, so let me repeat the motion. I have a motion on the floor. The motion is to select Greenspoon and Martyr as the City of North Miami city
If
attorneys.
we vote and this fails, then
You
do we
guys
get to
can't
vote this way again, or is that it?
I was in the middle of reading it, but
Well,
You
I'm-
can
But she
withdraw,
said she
you
was
can
gonna-
withdraw your second if you want
Okay.
to.
You
I'm
said
gonna
you were
withdraw,
gonna
I'm gonna,
withdraw.
I'm gonna
If you
withdraw my
withdraw
second,
your
because
second,
I
then
don't
the
wanna
motion
have
is
to,
dead.
it's
She's
apparent to
withdrawing
me
the
that
motion.
my second is not gonna get passed, so I'm gonna withdraw my
Okay,
motion.
so the motion is moot, it's dead.
okay.
That's
So
it.
at this time we have no motion on the floor.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
I'd like to motion we continue this item until the November 24th City Council agenda and ask that staff set up interviews for council, and I'm open to however your council might want to do that, if you want to do that individually, as a group, whatever, but that there be interviews conducted.
I'm okay, I don't
I'm
need
okay with
interview.
it either. Hmm?
I don't need interview, I'm okay.
I would like to interview if we're gonna be doing this.
I
in
would
the
like,
future.
and now I would like
I-
interview
I
as
was
well.
I was out of town last week, and I was not available for interviews.
If we are gonna do the interviews, would you guys, I would like, if we had a discussion, if you guys would rather do a group interview, where we have everybody come in as a group, we choose a date, and we do have a group interview where everyone comes in.
But I think we have 3 people, so that might be best.
We don't have two people.
No, Council Vice Mayor Keys,
When
Galvin.
when you say group interview, you mean all the council members present? And
Yes,
asking-
sir.
Okay,
We can,
I'm
And
okay
It
with
would
that.
be open to the public. It's
Yes,
not-
It would definitely have to be open to the public, yes, sir.
I'm okay with that.
but, that's mean,
Can we
you
go,
withdraw your motion, right?
I withdrew my motion,
There
but
is no motion.
I would like to go back to the original committee on September 24th, not just the
Oh,
4
and-
candidates. I would like a few more individuals, and I'd like the additional firm.
Instead of do that, why don't we just, reopen the process and allow another,
Oh, no,
And
no,
twelve.
no, that's too much.
Not another 70 attorneys.
Mr. Mayor, I did make a motion, and it was that we would continue
And I
this item to the
seconded.
24th and allow time for council to interview the finalists.
I seconded,
I
I
don't care if
second
it's
that.
4 or 11
Of 11.
finalists, I get the game, I don't care. I must interview, I'll interview them
Yes.
all. I'll take off work and interview them tomorrow. I want interviews, everybody, come interview with me, please.
Okay.
Councilman, do you want group
Can't
interviews?
make
Is
it
your
any more
motion
clear.
for group interviews or individual interviews?
A group. We giving you
I don't-
interviews,
I,
Councilman.
I do not care.
Well, how do you want me to draft your motion? This is your motion. So far, I have a motion to continue this item till November 24th, 2015. And council meet, and the council needs to interview these particular individuals, and staff shall facilitate either
Yes.
group interviews or individual interviews. How do
Group,
you
we
want me
said
to-
a group.
Let them decide that, thereafter. That's not on a point of discussion now.
So
I'll
do I,
it both ways, I don't care.
okay, so I'll just say staff shall facilitate interviews.
Yes.
Can I
Okay.
make one motion, not motion, I'm sorry. I'd like to make.
Yeah, but he makes the
Amendment.
motion, you have to
Yes.
second it.
I did, Mr. Mayor, I think I did. I seconded.
Council must interview. Council must interview
We better hope all the
Candidates.
candidates don't pull out after this.
and staff shall facilitate. I'm sorry, give me 2 seconds here. Facilitate interviews.
Through the mayor, just for a point of clarity, are we interviewing only
That's
the
what I was gonna
individuals
clarify.
that are selected by the committee, or are the interviews open, and you guys are gonna tell me who would you like added to the
We're
committee?
gonna
for
tell
open?
you, I think that's what.
but who's gonna, why don't we vote? Since we have firm, we have, we
Individual.
don't, why don't we vote? Are we going with a firm or are we going with, an individual?
Either or.
We
they
can
all
decide.
applied.
What we,
That was
But
already
if-
in the RFP, it was
yeah,
open
but
to
Mr. Mayor,
everybody.
if it's that the desire of the council to hire someone instead of the firm, why we have to conduct interviews with the 3 firms? Why don't we vote?
No, it's not the
First.
consensus of the council, it's only some people who voiced that they would rather have a single attorney
Yeah.
as
That's what I
opposed
say,
to
why
a
don't we
firm.
vote and we know exactly what we want?
Okay, what's the motion? What
Are
The
you
motion is to.
No, but we have a motion on
Oh,
the
we
floor
already have a
already,
motion on the
so.
floor.
Here we go.
That's like
I'm gonna make it more specific. I would like to motion to continue this till the November 24th meeting, allowing us time to meet with the 4 finalists as individuals.
No.
4 finalists as individuals.
What do you mean?
No flexibility, 4 finalists as
No firm,
individuals.
no firm?
There are 3 firms
firm
and
and
1
one individual.
person.
One individual.
Right, since we're gonna bat this around like a kitten playing with a little mouse on the floor,
Oh.
I'm gonna get really specific. Please, I'm motioning to continue to November 24th to allow the council to interview the 4 finalists as individuals,
But
not
Councilman,
as a group.
What,
That
If
was
you don't
not
like it, shoot it down,
What
vote
do
it
you
down, and go
mean,
to something
as
no,
else.
but
individual?
Councilman
No,
Galvin,
no,
that
but
wasn't
it says
the,
to interview. He's allowed to interview whichever way he wants.
we know. I think the clarification, Councilman Galvin, was,
wasting
do we
time.
add people to it? Because Councilwoman Keys wanted to add someone.
I'm being very clear, no. My
Okay.
motion is no.
I
to
got
just
you.
do the 4.
We got you. Okay.
Do I have a
Okay.
second to Councilman Galvin's motion?
Second.
Okay, so the motion is to continue this item till November 24th, to allow council to interview the 4 candidates as individuals. And that motion was seconded by Councilman Desirme. Did I get your motion correct, Councilman Galvin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me make sure I write it down.
No, but I can't vote on the motion that I do not understand. Why, what do you mean by interviewing them as individuals? You mean if you were to hire them, you would hire just that attorney?
No.
Not the firm?
No. That the interview be conducted on an individual basis, like they would meet with me at my office.
Oh, you mean
from 1 to
differently. Okay, I see
1:30,
what
and then
you're
meet with
saying.
you at your office from 1:30 to 2, and then, yeah, that kind of thing, that we
Oh.
meet them, as opposed to a group setting, that we could meet them individually.
Yeah, but there was another amendment that was proposed. Was it rejected? The vice mayor proposed to add the other candidates, prior to the 4 finalists.
My motion is for the 4 finalists. If it passes, it passes. If it fails, it fails. But I think what we're doing is we're creating more confusion, and we're putting ourselves in a bad light, that we've had the committee go through this process, and we've had them come up with some finalists, and suddenly we're like, voila, yank that carpet out, and let's just interview 10 people, 12 people. Even though I'm open to doing that, I'm trying to just give us some streamlined process and procedure. So my motion, and I'll call my own question if possible, Mr. Mayor, is November the 24th, 4 finalists and meet with them individually.
Motion to continue item till the November 24th, 2015 council meeting to allow council to interview the 4 candidates as individuals. Did I get that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, that motion was seconded by Councilman Desirme. Desirme. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
No.
Item fails 2-3. Failed, that motion. Okay,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make another motion, that we continue this till the 24th and open the interview process up to the 10 finalists and allow council to meet with them individually.
I'll second that.
I would like to.
9 finalists, you said? Okay, I apologize. See, if I'd ever gotten a memo from staff, I would have known that.
Can I make a friendly amendment? I'd like to add a name to the list, if it's, can we do that?
Mr. Councilman, I think it's just not well
Well,
received if we start throwing out
I
names
understand, but
that
we-
didn't even go through the
I
process.
I understand.
This goes down. Why
But
don't we go?
the problem is that I'm with you. But obviously the process is not being followed, so what's the point?
Well, now what I'm doing is taking the process that wasn't being followed to the T, and I'm taking it to the V or
It
the
still
W.
won't be
If we're not gonna
followed.
follow the 4, then at least the 10. I would not say
Yeah.
it's fair to say, well, hey, Bob Smith, you didn't even apply, you haven't
Yeah.
been seen by the committee, but voila, you just entered at 9 o'clock tonight the list of finalists to be interviewed.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair to all the other
Yeah.
finalists. I wouldn't be surprised if they all walked away from the game at that point.
Yeah.
So if you just wanted to pull somebody out in and out of the blue, I mean, if we want to expand it at least to the 9 or whatever finalists that the committee looked at least they've been vetted by the committee and there's been some discussion amongst them. But I can't go broader than that. I certainly can't say that it'd be somebody who didn't even apply. So my motion again is to continue to November the 24th to interview the 9 finalists
I already
as
seconded it.
individuals.
all right, let me read
How
your
you
motion
gonna
as I have
choose?
it written.
Since we didn't rank it, we didn't have any ranking. How are we gonna choose 9?
The
It's
last
up to
nine.
us.
There were nine that they
It's
picked.
only
the
people
four.
who wants to interview, by the way. Only
If-
people.
if-
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they can choose that they want to be in.
Okay, so the motion I have on the floor right now is a motion to continue this item to the November 24th, 2015 council meeting to allow council to interview all 9 candidates as individuals. And that's the motion, and that motion was seconded by Mayor Smith Joseph. Councilman Galvin, did I get your motion correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Item passes 3-2. So Scott Galvin's motion, the second motion is passed, 3-2. And that completes our agenda.
We go to reports now. Vice Mayor?
Okay.
Oh, no, we have Citizens Forum. Anybody who wishes to be heard in Citizens Forum, please come forward. Citizens Forum is now open, Citizens Forum is now closed. I see no one coming to the mic.
I was here.
Oh, you here?
Good evening, everyone. I had the chance to go, Maverick, there's only one at the City Planning Commission last Tuesday, and I had a chance to see the future. It's the future that we predicted a while back when we knew the comp plan wouldn't change. The future is 2 new government-subsidized buildings, 7 stories and 8 stories. 2 buildings that could not be built privately, could not be built without government funds. It's exactly what we predicted. It's exactly what we've had year after year after year without a single other private development of any notoriety or magnitude. We have set ourselves in motion. We've embraced a renter society for our community. You've condemned it. We've condemned it for our community. I know it's a renter society because even in the biggest and best use at Biscayne Landing, the article says from Miami Herald, 200 rental units. 2 buildings, 200 rental units to start. We are now confirmed in embracing a rental society. By the way, at the same time we sold the land just 2 Fridays ago at $400,000 an acre. Land less than a mile north, land that is horribly congested, that is next to looks across to a rail track, that looks across to a gas station, that looks across to an electrical substation. Dean's Gold, which still has groundwork to do in demolition, sold for over $10 million an acre. Inferior land in our time, contemporary, sold for $10 million an acre, while we just sold land for $400,000 an acre. The math on that? 25 times the amount. We sold land that was worth, that has a present day value of $550 million for $22 million that we don't get up front.
All right.
I ask you to embrace development so that this monopoly is no longer perpetuated. Otherwise, please, Mr. Mayor, I ask that you have an ethics investigation of why this has taken place and why it is so unfair to the rest of the city. Please, if we're going to have development, especially like that, it needs to be across the entire city. Thank you very much.
Citizens Forum is still open. Citizens Forum, now that I see no one.
Sylvia Mayolo, 100 Northwest, 124th Street. About the interview people are hiring here, I agree with Councilman Galvin, because we need some transparency, and everything is very crowded here, very crowded. And we pay these high salaries. A minimum salaries is less than 10 times that they pay in here the manager, the city manager. And I believe it's too much because we pay that. And we need a nice person, a sincere, honest person to do the job. Then Mr. Galvin has all the way to go to this process, and we need some transparency.
Citizen forum is now closed. Council reports, Vice Mayor.
Okay, Saturday, 8 o'clock, be there for the bike ride. Afterwards, if, come by, starting 8:30 to 12 is e-waste drive. Bring your electronics and documents for shredding. Also, I don't believe they mentioned that Monday, November 21st, I will be hosting my annual turkey drive with Councilman DeSulmi at 3:30 at Mocha Plaza. We have about 30 Key Club students that are going to be volunteering, getting community hours. So anybody who is a resident is welcome to come by. Mocha Plaza, Monday the 21st for the turkey. We'll have flyers out with, we have a lot of sponsors, so I don't want to miss anybody. So thank you.
Councilman Galvin.
All I want to say is that tomorrow we will honor our veterans and hope that everybody can join us at Griffin Park on 122nd Street and Dixie tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. sharp. It's always a fun and somber and reflective
It's not gonna be,
event. So
it's not at Griffin,
Yes, at Griffin, no?
it's in District 3.
it's in District 3 at Griffin Park tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So come on out and honor our veterans.
I had the pleasure, Mr. Mayor and the council, to represent the city of North Miami last week at the National League of Cities in Nashville, Tennessee, where we received among 56 other cities, we received one of the top nominations for the Michelle Obama Let's Move initiative. And I do want to commend our Parks and Recreation Director, Mr. Coker. Your work up there is being noticed in the work of what we do in North Miami, all the bike rides and all the different things that we do nationally at a national level. And when we were at committees, everyone was asking and going on our site trying to find out what we do. But we really have done a remarkable job this past year, and I do want to say thank you to you. And they did present a plaque to us, to the city of North Miami. And out of 500 cities, I believe we were ranked 1 as far as reaching 5 gold medal 3 times in a row. So we are on the map, as you may say, Mr. Mayor, city on the move, but nationally at this particular conference where 5,000 elected officials from all over represented their respective cities, and I had the honor, Councilman Galvin, you just missed Martina McBride, who did just a phenomenal job. It was good. Thank you.
Mr. Bien-Aimé?
No reports, Mr. Mayor.
No reports?
I have a food distribution, not turkey drive, because my food distribution is in collaboration with Madame Gugos, and I have to thank publicly Madame Gugos, and they provide us with food, including rice, beans, oil, and soda, and for about $2,500. That means we're gonna be distributing about 500 bags of food in collaboration with Madame Gugos. That's means we're gonna be turkey, rice, beans, oil, soda, and everything in it, and for Thanksgiving.
So it is a turkey distribution.
Food distribution, including turkey, and I have to give credit to Madame Gugos for give us food for $2,500, and I have to thank and Mr. Daniel Fizeme, and you know Mr. Daniel Fizeme. That's not you, your son. Yeah, I have to thank your son, like one of the director for Madame Gugos product, and $2,500 for Thanksgiving. That's gonna be a big plus for the community with the turkey. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Last Saturday, I had the pleasure of attending Taste of North Miami. Those of you who were not present, I'm sorry, because we had a wonderful time, chicken wings, and we had beans. Was there any collard greens, Art? Yeah, I didn't see any because you ate it all. We had a wonderful time. There was a lot of there was a lot of music, and I had a great moment. So my town hall meeting is scheduled for next week, no, the 11th. No, not the 19th. I'm sorry, at the Joe Celestin Center, where those of you who were here in the last year meetings, you may remember that we took action on trying to see how we can ease the water bill. So we had engaged a company to make water rate study. So it's time for us to get an update as to what he's doing, to see where we're going with the possibility of doing better with our water rate. And also we have a Thanksgiving dinner, first annual Thanksgiving dinner we're going to be having at the same place, Joe Celestin Center, which is going to be held the evening, the Thanksgiving Eve at the Joe Celestin Center. So everybody's invited, father, mother, children, whether you have 5, 6, 10, 12 children, come with all of them, come and eat. And we all will be there. And also we have a turkey. Actually, on the 23rd, there are 2 turkey drives, one at 11 for the people who work in the evening and one in the afternoon, as Vice Mayor stated earlier, to accommodate for people who work during the daytime. So please come and get the turkeys and come for the dinner the day before Thanksgiving. And that's pretty much all I have to say for now until our next meeting. And I don't know if the city clerk has anything to report.
Very briefly, we're in preliminary conversations to help curb juvenile delinquency here in the city of North Miami. For those who don't know our past, or my past, we have several juvenile delinquency problems here in the city. So we are in preliminary conversations, or we will be, with the state attorney's office and of course the city of North Miami Police Department. We're going to try to identify juvenile delinquents here in the city of North Miami and create a mentorship program with individuals who are former convicted felons who are back out doing a great job in our society. And we're just going to basically see if we can get these juvenile delinquents in the city of North Miami to understand that crime does not pay. And we're going to bring in former juvenile delinquents, attorneys who are juvenile delinquents, and of course former convicted felons. And we're going to launch this program in January and hope that we can make sure that our juvenile delinquents aren't left behind. And we'll do everything we can to get them into college, to get them to do the right thing. So I'll keep you guys up posted, but that's definitely one of our programs that we're going to launch in January. And the clerk office, Stephanie and I was also at the National League of Cities. We were also present when they awarded the City of North Miami the Let's Move Award. And again, the City of North Miami, at least in the eyes of, from a national standpoint, we are a phenomenal city. Don't let anyone tell you different. They envy our city. And I want to congratulate Derek Coker for a great job you've been doing with the Parks and Recs Department, because we are definitely, let's just say we are admired by a lot of people throughout the country. And Stephanie was there as well, including myself. Thanks a lot, Mayor. That completes my report.
Mr. Attorney? Mr. Attorney?
No, not this evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Manager?
Yes, at the last council meeting, it was questions regarding the security cameras at the library. The installation started yesterday at the library. They're installing the security
Hooray.
cameras and lighting at the library.
That's something done.
Also, I did reach out to everyone at the council. We did receive our initial $4.4 million payment from Solomia. And we will be coming with a report next meeting on some possible ways of how staff feels the money should be set aside. In closing,
Can we put that on the next agenda?
yes, I have it on the next agenda, yes. In closing, we did post the city manager's position yesterday, and it will be closing on December 25th, 2015. That concludes my report, sir.
December 25th? Why that long?
It's 31st, I see.
31st, I'm sorry.
November or December?
December. You want to put it out for at least 30 to 45 days, sir.
You have to?
You don't have to. We could always move the date up, but it does allow people to apply, if you want to.
We have to give people 45 days to allow them to apply?
Well, we can
Who
change,
decides that? I mean, who decides to put 45 days?
we put it out, sir. 2 weeks would have been too short of a period. You have Thanksgiving coming up also.
The minimum would be 10 days. So 10 would be the minimum. Any more than that is at our discretion.
The ad's already out?
Yes, sir. Went out yesterday morning.
Mr. Mayor, maybe to avoid confusion, we can just let it ride, and then the next time we're picking a city attorney, a city manager in about a year.
It's 45 days. I mean, how did we come up with 45 days? Jesus, we've never. Anyway, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Thanks.